Now, as we told you before, we're going to take you to an opera. How many have been to an opera? How many have seen an opera on TV or someplace? How many like opera? How many dislike it? As you probably know, opera is the highest level of vocal work that you possibly can get to. Those that aspire to opera singing are the best of the best. We're going to do an opera entitled The Grasshopper Opera. And this is a spoof on an opera, which means that we have to sing well to do opera, but then we have to do it badly to make it a spoof, which we're going to do. And let me introduce you to our cast. We have a narrator who's David Loggins. We have a duet with Sue Sipple and Royal Duncan on display. And then we'll have a solo by, what was the name of that nurse? Nightingale? Miriam Nightingale. And she is a nurse, too, was. And a solo by our bass, or basso profundo, Barry Hood. Then we will have a real, live, Southern Baptist preacher in an opera, Ted Sipple. Amen. Amen. Then we'll have a Scottish piece of music in an opera by Donna Mayer. And then we will have a herald tenor, complete from the Wagnerian herald, Otto Caro. This is the Grasshopper Opera, a tragic tale. And it takes place with a turkey gobbler who gobbles up the grasshopper. You know, you got to have tragedy in an opera. So that's what it's going to be. So listen carefully to what the narrator says. Listen to the words that each of the singers and the chorus sings. And enjoy. Now, if you go to sleep, I'll wake you up in a couple of hours.
Grasshopper, an ancient, tragic theme with modern inversions. Thema.
Grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine. Grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine.
The next verse describes how the grasshopper, gay and debonair, elevating his elbows, assumed a sedentary position upon the sweet potato vine.
The grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine. The grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine.
We call attention to the stealthy approach of the gobbler and his horrid delight in his unnatural banquet.
And the big turkey gobbler, he came up behind and gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine.
The next verse describes, pathetically, in a minor key, the grief of the afflicted family of the deceased grasshopper.
Grasshopper sat on the sweet
And now we set forth the feelings of the bereaved one. We expected to have administration of his property. Allegro molto vivace, suggesting divvy.
Grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine. The grasshopper sat on the sweet potato vine. And the big turkey gobbler, he came up behind and gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine.
And a tender young female grasshopperess, betrothed to the deceased, bewailed his taking off in the school of the German ballad as follows. Andante with sobs and pocket handkerchiefs.
There was his form upon the sweet potato vine. There was his voice upon the sweet potato vine. And cruel was that gobbler turned, that came up to him and tore him limb.
But the turkey gobbler, who was basso profondo, regarded it as a meritorious performance. And he therefore gave this account of it to the school of the English ballet. Gustoso with ferocity and gore.
High on the stalk of a sunburst vine, a grasshopper sat on a sweet tater vine. High were his elbows and high were his knees, and entomological wonder was he. He looked at the landscape and sung him a song, but he did not enjoy that repose very long. For a big turkey gobbler came right up to him, and he gathered him in. He gathered him in. Gathered. He gathered him in.
And the Reverend Bumblebee, at the next meeting, edified those assembled with this view of the shortness and uncertainty of insect life.
Short were his days upon the sweet potato vine.
Amen.
For all flesh is grass upon the sweet potato vine. And many are the evil birds that come up behind. To destroy him that sitteth on the sweet potato vine.
An ancient maid-aunt of the deceased, who liked a little old Scotch song that has feeling in it, deplored her nephew's retirement from the world in these accents. Adagio with tender nasal sadness.
I looked on when the grass on similar days were fine, when turkey cocks were raised for Up behind, I took a right good Willie, what for old lang syne.
And the colony of black beetle bugs that lived under the sweet potato vine rejoiced in their master's downfall in this unseemly fashion. A libretto with heathen levity.
Old Mr. Hopper is a-sittin' on the tater, thinking mighty hard on the ways of human nature. Big turkey gobbler came a-sliding up behind, gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine. Gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine. Gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine. Gobble, 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 gobble. He gobbled him down off the sweet potato vine.
It was at this moment that a herald arrived, breathless, on the scene, where were assembled kings, priests, gypsies, peasants, soldiers, serfs, and ladies of the court. A class of population never brought together except on the stage of the Italian opera for the choral purposes. And in stately recitativo, the herald thus addressed them, after which they all indulged in the chorus, accompanied by trumpets and shawms.
Horrible occurrence. On yesterday morning, as Mr. G. Hopper was sitting in the shadow of his own vine and fig tree, he was approached from the rear by a miscreant known as Turkey, alias Gobbler. And the unconscious Mr. Hopper was assaulted and violently eaten. No portion of the person of the deceased was recovered. His relatives have left only the sad hope that he may have proven very indigestible.
Behind the vine, them up and he gobbled them up. Behind the vine. He gobbled them up and he gobbled them up. Behind the vine, behind the vine, behind the vine, behind the vine, behind the vine.